Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because chances are you are the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Les Brown, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Find your true self.
I believe that all of us are born unique, but most of us die copies. You got to find out what is it that turns you on, what resonates with you. One of the things that I realized and what allowed me to become successful as a speaker, the speaking industry has been hijacked by people who speak to sell, and it's okay to do that and make money. I speak to change lives because somebody spoke and change my life. So this is my passion. This is my drive. This is something that I feel in my heart. And so the key to that hunger-driven life is a heart-centered life. I didn't do what I'm doing for years because of my programming, because of the culture in which I was raised in. I would see other people with degrees and PhDs and MBAs and credentials I don't have, and I convinced myself I couldn't do it. But Mr. Washington, on that day, we became friends, and he taught me not only someone's opinion of you does not have to determine your reality. He said that you have to work on yourself and you have to have an unstoppable attitude, and no excuse is acceptable, and you got to make it a priority, a non-negotiable in your life, and hold a constant vision of what it is you want to achieve. See it accomplished and go all out. Find a way to win. In spite of the setbacks, in spite of the disappointments, in spite of your failures.
Rule number 2, always keep learning.
The biggest leadership gap in our generation is the unwillingness by the majority of people to see the value of perpetually learning. That we have to be willing to commit ourselves to what Alvin Toffler talked about, to unlearn, learn, and relearn. Because today, innovation creates new ignorance. And new ignorance can only be eliminated by education. Knowledge is the new currency. And so as we look at ourselves, look at our goals and dreams, we must continuously upgrade our knowledge so that we can stay ahead of artificial intelligence.
Rule number 3, be a great storyteller.
Part of what allowed me to break through that the speaking industry was a Good Old Boys Network, and they were going around, the speakers were giving speeches and regurgitating information, as you are aware, from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
Well, my mentor, Mike Williams, who wrote the book called The Road to Your Best Stuff, The Road to Your Best Stuff. He said, Brownie, if information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy.
Yes.
Yeah, so what I do and how I train speakers is to use your story to create an experience. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. So you attract the attention, and with an experience that you create, the experience of your customer, the experience that you're able to create, and that interaction with the people that you want to attract, that you then direct that attention. And there's a reason that Steve Jobs said the storyteller is the most powerful person in the world. And he knew that. Here's a guy to talk about a product, and people have set up camp outside the store for 2 and 3 days, sleeping outside to get something they haven't laid hands on. They just heard the story about it. Khalil Gibran, in the book called The Prophet, he said, more than thirst and hunger, humans need stories.
Rule number 4, live the life of service.
To me, success is living a life of service. It's thinking about how is it that my life can be an instrument to leave the world in better shape than how I found it. It's what is it that I can do, that I can give to others, that I bring? If it's my music, if it's my artwork, if it's my words, if it's living a life of a Mother Teresa, if it's one of Winston Churchill, if it's a President Barack Obama, it's about making an impact with your life. To me, of being of service to humanity. That to me, doing something that's a passion of yours, that you feel in your heart. Where the heart is, there your treasure is also. That to me is living a life of success.
Also, if you want to have more self-belief and more self-confidence, I've created a special free program where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you an unlisted video to help you boost your self-belief and self-confidence. The link to join for free is in the description below.
We have so much energy that can take us so far. It's necessary that you hook up with some other energy that can take you to the next level. I hooked up with them. They said, let's go. I said, away we go. If you're going to compete today, that you look for ways to amaze your customers.
Rule number 5, find a coach.
Talk to me about the value of a coach, having a coach, and having a mentor.
I'm glad you asked that question because my children, they don't understand. Daddy, why do you pay Mike Williams money every month as a coach? You're Les Brown. You've selected among the top 5 speakers in the world. You're recognized as number 1. You earn $70,000 an hour when you speak in the United States. You earn 225,000 pounds when you speak outside of the United States. Why do you pay him every month? And I said, Serena Williams is the most dominant tennis player on the planet, and she never goes out on the court without her coach, because you can't read the label when you're locked in the box. You don't even want someone coaching you unless they have a coach. And I have a coach because there are things that a coach can see that you can't see when you're under fire, when you're going through the stuff. And you have to have somebody with a trained eye and experience that you've developed a collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationship with that will allow you to navigate the storms of life. And when life staggers you, that can help you get back in the game again and do the rope-a-dope and Muhammad Ali shuffle.
Rule number 6, have a dream.
The imagination is a preview of what's to come. And so as a kid, I dreamed a lot about taking care of my mother. I used to go with her to work to clean homes, and she kept her children, and she cooked for these wealthy families. My mother could bake a sweet potato pie so good you couldn't eat it with your shoes on. You had to take your shoes off so you could wiggle your toes. And I used to look at these big, beautiful mansions and said, Mama, what is it, Leslie? When I become a man, I'm gonna buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. Oh, you don't have to do this. I said, I know, but you didn't have to adopt us either. And you did. And so I'm here with you because of 2 women. One gave me life, the other one gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. And because of her example and my love for her and the passion that I felt in my heart, I've got to do something to make her proud. I've got to do something to put myself in position to be able to take care of her. That drove me. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow.
Rule number 7, create supportive relationships.
Today, in order for us to make it, even before the coronavirus, the suicide rate in America had increased by 32%. Today, in order for us to make it, we have to create what we're doing now, collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. One of the major issues we're facing right now is loneliness. And one of the major determinants of a long life, I thought it would be plant-based diet or becoming a vegetarian or a vegan or exercise. It's positive social relationships. That's the main factor.
Rule number 8, have the discipline to surrender.
I have a son who suffers from a mental illness, bipolar. And many times, like during this period in the last few months, has decided he didn't want to take his medication. I don't care how old your kids become, he's 35. They're always your children. So not only does it keep me up at night, but it keeps me singing a song. You about to make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. You about to make me act a fool up in here. I remember one night somebody called me and say, "Are you on Facebook?" I said, "No." Go to your son's Facebook, and he on there saying, "I spent more money on marijuana than I have on self-development. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's grandson." Let me tell you something. I needed some weed after watching him. So, the book of life said, "Think it not strange that you're faced in fiery furnaces in this world." It has been a humbling experience that I've been able to motivate and inspire young men around the world. And my son looked like I had him by myself, that I can't reach him. And so I have learned, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. I can't change him. The courage to change the things that I can. I can change how I react, how I respond, and the courage to know the difference. And so I've learned to discipline myself to let go and let God. And once letting go, don't go back to God and get it. Just give it to Him.
Yes, yes.
That our kids come through us, but they come from God. And learn to surrender. Life is about surrendering and releasing. And I've learned the discipline to do that. But it hasn't been easy.
Rule number 9, put yourself in OQP community.
How can people that are listening to this now, especially if they're an adult that's got all those labels put on them, that's had their creativity squished, what process do they do to hear the voice? What sort of communion can they do to create that imagination that's going to allow them to get out of that and move towards something new?
That's the reason why you designed this program, you and your team, for them to do that they have to expose themselves to something that will give them a different vision of themselves. And in addition to that, they have to put themselves in a community of what I call OQP, only quality people. A gentleman who dramatically transformed my life, I was a junior at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, Florida, and I went in his class looking for another friend, and he said, "Go to the board and work this problem out for me." I said, "Sir, I can't do that." He said, "Why not?" I said, "I'm not one of your students." He said, "Do it anyhow." And the other kids started laughing, saying, "He's Leslie, he's DT." And he said, "What's DT?" His brother is smart, but he's the dumb twin. And I said, "I am, sir." And he came from behind his desk and he pointed at me and said, "Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." And he taught me 3 things. He said, if you want to become successful in life, young man, he said, number 1, you got to change your mindset. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number 2, practice OQP. Only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. I found that out. I left all my broke friends. I said, y'all gotta go. Because I used to be so broke, I'd pass a bank and trip the alarm, And the 3rd thing he said, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. He said, those are 3 major things that you want to work on that will liberate you from living in Liberty City, living in poverty in Overtown. It will help to escape out of where you are right now, because I see you watching me and I know you want more. I can see the hunger in your eyes. That's why my book is about to come out called You Gotta Be Hungry.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is fight for your territory.
Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. Give you an example. 27 years ago, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Dr.
27 years ago. My gosh.
Yeah, fourth stage cancer. And fourth stage prostate cancer. My PSA was 2,400. And so Dr. Alfred Golson said, Mr. Brown, you have fourth stage cancer. I said, I do? He said, yes. And it's metastasized to 7 areas of your body and it's eaten 43% of your T1 vertebrae. I said, whoa. He said, why are you smiling? Did you hear what I just said? I said, yeah. He said, why are you smiling? I said, man, 7 is my lucky number. I was born February the 17th. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the River Jordan 7 times. 7 is my lucky number. He looked at his nurse and said, this is a strange one. So I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes. And you're ugly too. You just called me ugly, but you didn't go there. He said, you're ugly. Crazy. He said, but you got this. You got this. I don't tell patients that they're terminally ill. What I say is my knowledge and my ability and my skills have terminated. Now you and God figure this out. He determines the prognosis. You got this. And as a result, how people live their lives, as you know, is a result of the story they believe about themselves. He interrupted my story, and I left there with a heart full of faith, not a heart full of fear. Zig said, most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run. But there are a small number, the road to life is straight and narrow, few there be that find it, who face everything and rise.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video? And what is your specific plan of action for the next week? When you just watch a video and get motivated by it, you have a 35% chance of following through. But when you get motivated and then create a specific plan of action, you have a 91% chance of following through. That's what we do here, Believe Nation. We get motivated, but then we do something about it. And when you commit to other people, you increase your chances even further of following through. So, what was your biggest takeaway from this video? And then what is your plan of action around it for this week? Put it down in the comments below because I want to celebrate you.
When I think in terms of mentors, I think in terms of Mr. Leroy Washington, who was a high school teacher of mine, who told me, Mr. Brown, develop your mind and develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. I admired his communication skills. He's a speech and drama instructor when I was in high school.
If you want 10 more awesome rules from Les Brown, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The key to being a loser.
Yeah, very important.
Is not loving and appreciating yourself.